In the world of athletics, few have flown faster down the winning straight than former Olympic champion Marion Jones. In the 100 and 200 metres finals at the Sydney Olympics in 2000, her phenomenal speed left all comers eating her dust. And with a record-breaking medal tally of 3 gold and 2 bronze, she was the runaway star of the Games. The 25-year-old golden girl from LA had the world at her feet as the undisputed queen of track and field. Not only could she command between $70,000 and $80,000 per race, her baby-face looks and butter-wouldn't-melt smile had big-ticket sponsors, magazine editors and advertising managers queuing up to throw money at her. The territory came with its fair share of rumours that she'd had more than a little help from her performance-enhancing friends. But while many of her fellow competitors were falling foul of random drug tests, Marion's negative results backed up her regular assertions that she was the paragon of athletic virtue.
I've never taken a performance-enhancing drug, and I never will. It's as simple as that.
I have never, ever failed a drug test. I have taken over 160 drug tests. I have taken tests before, during, and after the 2000 Olympics, and have never failed a test.
The same could not be said of her shot-putter husband, C.J. Hunter. When he got busted in Sydney, she played the supportive wife and accompanied him to his humiliating news conference. However, even as CJ was crying his eyes out, she was quick to distance herself from his crimes and endorse the drug testing system.
We just have to develop a system in our sport and across sport that people know that if they cheat, they're going to get caught. And I think the athletes that are clean, such as myself, will be happy if that system is ever put in place.
As the number of athletes caught cheating around her escalated, so did the boldness of her statements. After fellow sprinter Kelly White confessed to the US anti-doping agency that she'd been using steroids, Marion took a hard line.
The only thing I really didn't like, and I'll be truthful with this, is the fact that, USADA commented that they commended her courageous act by admitting that she tested positive, and I don't understand how you can commend that and the fact that she admitted she's courageous.
If someone close to her had reminded her of the old adage, the harder they come, the harder they fall, perhaps she would have thought twice about sticking her head quite so high above the parapet, especially in light of the ongoing investigation into the operations of Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative, which later became known as the Balco Affair. The net began to close in on Balco and the athletes to whom it had secretly been supplying performance-enhancing drugs after Marion's former coach supplied the anti-doping agency with a sample of the undetectable designer steroid Clear. With Balco well and truly on the ropes, founder and owner Victor Conti was singing like a canary, and the likes of Marion's boyfriend track star Tim Montgomery were falling like flies. With fingers pointing at her from everywhere, she continued to tough it out in front of a grand jury and even went as far as to sue Conti for false accusations. World Anti-Doping Agency chief Dick Pound wasn't convinced, but somehow Marion just kept on running. After finishing in last place in the opening race of the season in 2005, she was working her way back to career best form through 2006, but finally it all caught up with her in October 2007. The weight of overwhelming evidence, including her ex-husband's testimony that she'd injected her own stomach in the Olympic Village, came crashing down upon her, and Marion was finally forced to fess up to 2 counts of perjury and admitted using steroids both before and after her historic haul in Sydney. Outside the courtroom, she faced the public.
And so it is with a great amount of shame that I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust.
As everyone can imagine, I'm extremely disappointed today. But as I stood in front of all of you for years in victory, I stand in front of you today I stand for what is right. I respect the judge's orders. And I truly hope that people will learn from my mistakes.
After nearly a decade of ducking and diving, she had finally got her guilty secret off her chest. She was stripped of her medals and began a 6-month sentence in a Texas prison. Completing her fall from grace, the former media darling was also convicted of lying about her involvement in a check fraud scandal. And as of her release from prison in September 2008, one of sport's first female millionaires has now been declared stony broke.